Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 64th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by my fellow Hans Zimmer appreciator, Jaden.
G'day.
And Paul Thomas Anderson's number one fanboy, aka Fitzy, aka Liam.
What's up?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Nothing much.
I didn't ask you how your
Riveting.
uni holiday break is going.
Oh, you're asking now?
Yeah.
It's nice, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. We're very interesting people, aren't we?
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you listen to our thoughts on movies. This is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which opened in the US on the 28th of July, 2011. It was directed by Rupert Wyatt, and it is a sci-fi drama. The synopsis tells us a substance designed to help the brain repair itself gives advanced intelligence to a chimpanzee who leads an ape uprising. All right, so this is our brand new franchise. Again, we highly suggest everyone jump on board our franchises. They're a lot of fun. We're starting this trilogy right here. Fitzy, have you seen all of these movies? I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have,
All right.
yes.
So I'm the only one going in here brand new.
Mm.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I appreciate it. So, Liam, what did you think this time around of Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Hold on, I thought I was going to sneeze. No, okay. It was better than I thought. I watched it like ages ago, so I don't know. But it was better than I remember it. Or better than I thought it'd be. Rewatching it, like it really holds up in terms of the effects and the CGI, and Caesar in general is just like they put so much like emotion and intelligence into his face. So I think everything with Caesar in this film is just really, really great, really captivating, and it's I don't know, it's exciting. I guess it's kind of short and it's like a lot less bloated, I guess, or a lot less just. There's no dead air in the film, so I don't know. Like it's a great story in itself. Like seeing Caesar's whole journey, and yeah, it's a great movie, I guess. Yeah.
I think I feel the same as Liam. Not that I ever thought negative. I've always loved it. I've always thought it was great. I think some of the dialogue at times is a bit clunky. But I really love it. I love the characters. You know, the ape and the human ones. I think James Franco's characters. I think he's a good protagonist because, like, you know, he's this kind of scientist, but he's kind of like the mad scientist, but he's only doing it for, you know, pure. He's very morally driven. You know, he wants to cure Alzheimer's. You know, it's not like he was doing it for money or anything like that. So then the fact that we have this kind of guy that's pushing science too far, but like he's still in, you know, a morally good character it's nice. You know, it's understanding. You know, I really love it.
Yeah, that's a good point about him. I liked him in the movie. I had no idea what to expect. Really, I liked all the stuff with him, like this hyper intelligence, since he's been caused by trying to find a cure to Alzheimer's. I don't know what I was expecting, but like, I don't know. I didn't even think about like how the origins of their intelligence. I don't know. I thought maybe Caesar was just going to be born smart or some shit, but that was cool, and I liked the entire relationship and his motivations with his dad as well. That was sort of the heart of the movie. Oh, I wouldn't. No, not necessarily. It was a heart of the movie. Good on me. I enjoyed the movie for sure. I think for me, its biggest drawback is that its story. I guess Fizzy sees it more as a positive. The story just doesn't feel super substantial, and I don't think that's necessarily like it's not the worst thing in the world at all. They took their direction, and I do often like when movies like this can be sort of smaller in scope. But here, I don't know. I feel like after it, I enjoyed what they did. I just sort of felt like maybe I wanted a little more, you know, from it. It did feel very contained. It felt very much like, you know, going into this as a trilogy. It felt very much like a prologue, you know. It feels like if this were a novel, this would be this is just the backstory of like how how it starts, you know what I mean? And then we'll sort of see what goes down, because I feel like we're clearly getting into some version of the post-apocalypse here, and I feel like that's what's really going to grab me, you know. So we didn't get there, and that's fine. But for what it is, there's a lot to like. I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, Fitz, you already did a great job of touching on my first point right here. The CG's great, totally terrific on everything, everywhere in the movie. But Andy Serkis's mocap is incredible, and the animation work that they do, everyone involved in bringing Caesar to life, it's really impressive. The way in which in the film that he is able to like consistently, and this is a combination of Andy Serkis and everyone else involved in animating him, like I said, but I'm able to, my feelings and emotions towards him sort of switch constantly. He goes from being very sympathetic, obviously as a child, being really cute. He remains likable throughout the entire movie, but he also becomes incredibly intimidating and borderline scary at times too. Like genuinely to me, like there's moments when, dude, when he's like brooding in his cell and he's like staring daggers into Draco Malfoy. I felt that. I'm like, he's scaring the shit out of me right now. I don't want to come face to face with that. So I was impressed with how much of a fully realized character he is already, and I assume he is the protagonist of this series, I guess. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see how he develops and following his story here. But I don't know. I mean, you guys know his full story, but Jane, did you get anything else out of going back to his origins here about his performance or the character or anything else like that?
I know it's a scene that's mentioned quite a bit with this movie, but like I think I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times, and every single time when Caesar says no to Drake, it shivers, man. It's like goosebumps, like legit, and like it's like it's so like that's I don't know I don't know how they made that so effective because like the dialogue just before that, you know, it's a bit shitty because like, you know, it's Draco saying "Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape," which is, you know, a call back to the original, but it just kind of felt a bit too forced in there.
Okay.
So like, but it's like, you know, you're kind of taken aback a bit by the scene, but then it's immediately flooded with this kind of, you know, like it's just there's so much presence in his no, you know, it's dominating, it reverberates around, it's like it's intimidating, like you said, but you know, it's yeah, I like that's just always a moment that I love, you know.
Oh, totally. It seemed like, you know, definitely can see coming that obviously this dude's going to speak. I don't know if it was going to be in this movie or not, but like Caesar's going to end up talking. But I couldn't believe it. Like it genuinely shocked me how well it's executed. You're totally right. Everything you mentioned, like his voice is great. Generally, and then in that he just friggin' screams from the bottom of his friggin' lungs, and that the voice is it's Andy Serkis's voice combined with like, I guess, like modulated ape sounds or noises or whatever to like create it, and it's really great. And I think what else helps with it is the fact that the score sort of really cuts out for like seconds in the build up. And you just met with silence, and then he yells it, and it's insane. No, it's such a memorable moment. So is it often talked about with this movie? Is that sort of a well known moment? Because that makes me happy.
I think it is, and I think it's easy to see why it is. I mean, like I think this is like top 5 moments of modern sci-fi. You know, it's got to be.
Oh, cool. Okay. No, I didn't know if that was just going to be something I appreciated because I watched it for the first time, but that's cool. It definitely deserves that, I think. You're the one that brought it up, Fitzy. How do you feel about the performance, the CG and stuff? Where would you rate? I want you to start ranking Andy Serkis performances right now. You know, like how does this stack up to Gollum? What else has he done? King Kong, wasn't he King Kong in Peter Jackson's? I think so.
Oh no, yeah,
I think
something.
was
he? Dude, I can't imagine like Caesar and Gollum being the same face, like same person. You know, it's crazy for me to think that. But no, I mean, no, the CG for Circus and the other apes as well is pretty incredible. Like the there was that big ape, not the one in the cage, but the orangutan. He's really
Oh, dude.
like that is a really realistic looking ape, and just like I don't know, it's one of the best parts of this series, just the realism of the CGI, which is kind of an oxymoron, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was not expecting.
It seriously
either.
only gets better though.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That makes a ton of
incredible
sense.
how it goes.
Shout out to all the other ape characters as well. Like, I was not expecting to like grow in it's very simple storytelling, a very simple like audience trying to position audiences to feel a certain way about ape characters because the what's his name, Cobra, the one who looks like a serial killer, is clearly meant to terrify me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So much of it, is in their design, and it's really simple in that way. But Shanna, I was not expecting to have like a cast of ape characters that I like or that I connect to. I was sort of just thinking, I don't know, it's going to be Caesar and the human characters and shit, sort of like a monster movie or a Transformers situation where it's like, okay, like we focus a lot on the human characters, and we do, but I wasn't expecting like a cast of ape characters that are really cool. That orangutan was dope. He was my dude. He looked incredible, and I think he actually looked better than Caesar. But
Yeah,
that's probably just because they didn't have to like he doesn't have to animate as much. Like, he doesn't have to animate his mouth exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, that's.
I'm happy. I'm happy you brought up Cobra though.
Yeah,
Cobra's great, but he is my one problem with this. I thought that in the place he goes, the ape captive place, or I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to call it either. Like
But I thought that
isn't it a sanctuary?
Yeah, sanctuary. That's
sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I always thought that in this movie, the ape that Caesar faces is Cobra. In the thing, how he like faces up to that ape who's initially like he fights him in the in the play pit. But that is, I can't even remember. Does he have a name in this film? I mean,
I don't know.
He's.
I don't know. They definitely named him. Was it Ash? Was that one?
Oh.
I think that might be from the second movie actually.
But yeah, with Cobra, I think Cobra's great as a villain. He just needed to be like they could have easily put a backstory in for him in this one. Why he hates, like what Jacobs did to him, because like especially in the end where you have Caesar giving Cobra the okay to put Jacobs to the edge. It's like there are two things that should be established for that to work, which is like Caesar knows who Cobra is, which he doesn't at that point, and Cobra has a bad relationship with Jacobs. So like when that happens, it's kind of just like it's kind of random, like why wouldn't Caesar just push him off the edge? Like why get Cobra too? It's just because like he's the evil one, And I think like this series could be a lot more interesting if Cobra was, because Cobra's whole thing is he just he hates humans, he's for the ape race and everything, and it's like he's the more extreme version of Caesar's protection against like ethics against the human. And it's like if you just put that story in with Cobra, it's like Jacobs went too far on him, or he has these bad experiences or something. I think it could add a lot more depth to that and make it more interesting. But instead, Cobra's is just kind of he's a great, like he's an intimidating character, and he uses his intelligence in like very like manipulative ways in the series, and like it's very cunning. But like he'd be so much better if he was if you understood that his perspective a little bit more, where his evil kind of comes from. But yeah,
I appreciate that perspective a lot because I wasn't looking at this obviously from I didn't know that he's gonna be like a villain in this series or whatever.
Right.
So I just thought, I don't know, he's just a character in this movie, and for that, like, I didn't think of any of that obviously because I don't have that perspective, but that makes a ton of sense because you're right. Like in this movie, and I thought it worked in this movie for what this movie is, but like it's just like Cobra has a scary design, like he's clearly scary and horrifying. So it's like, yeah, he's the bad one. He's the scary
Well,
one.
I think his backstory and his motivation is just that he's a lab rat that's being passed around a lot, and that's why he's sort of scarring. And I think that's kind of what drives his hatred.
Yeah, okay. It's pretty straightforward though, right? Like, and that's fine. But I mean, I'm not going to judge until I see the others. But it sounds like, I don't know if he becomes more fleshed out, then maybe that works or doesn't. I don't know, but
I just feel like it needed like a little bit more, because he is so important, especially like later on. So
right, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, linking with that, but going back to Caesar for a second, talk about like they did such a great job with him as a character. Like the moments when it's like, okay, like he's starting this revolution with the apes. Obviously, he's like starting this uprising because he's more intelligent than anyone else. And dude, when he starts like recruiting the apes with cookies, I was like, yeah, man. I'm like, if I'm in a prison, someone wants to recruit me to do something, just give me a cookie. Oh, it's a great tactic. I'd definitely jump on board. Oh no, what I wanted to say is that I really liked how they show Caesar, start this revolution and his sort of approach to it. Because of it, he's obviously imprisoned and treated horribly. So it's like, okay, that's fair. But then I love how they multiple times, go out of the way to demonstrate that he is very aware of his actions and very rational in his intentions. In that, what exactly what you were talking about when he like stops the other apes from hurting the humans. That happens like multiple times. I think he like calls. I think was it Cobra? I don't know. Calls like one of them off, tells them not to, back off, and we got to stick with the objective here. And I thought that was great, because I think it's such a when I imagine I don't know what an ape revolution would be, not in real life necessarily, hopefully not, but I sort of imagine that they'd just sort of go like they'd just sort of murder us all, and I sort of appreciate Caesar's like, yeah, nah, bro, that's not what we're doing here. And it felt great for his character development because I would have been really sad if it turned into because I love his relationship with James Franco and the connection he clearly has to human beings. I feel like it would have sucked if he just sort of turned into a monster that he's like, yeah, just tear him apart. So that connection that he has emotionally to the humans still very much stays with him in what he's doing. So I like that a lot.
Just adding on to that, I think this movie features great, just non-verbal communication throughout. Obviously it's aided in part by the by some of the sign, but it's not always translated. But you can usually tell. And I think I think like one of my favorite examples, like in that scene where Caesar's matured and they're at the redwoods again, and he's walking past the dog. You can immediately tell then that Caesar feels he's a pet because he's on the leash and stuff before they sign it and spell it out for you. There's instances like that throughout the movie. I think it really needs to be applauded for.
That was a great scene. That was a great moment because it's just the visual of it, isn't it? Like it's just this huge this huge ape, and he's like clearly could tear James Franco in half, and he's just slow, like walking behind him awkwardly with a leash on, and the fact he had the sweater on too, it's just clearly does not work at all, and it sort of visually, foreshadows and gives you all the information you need to know as to why he's doing what he's doing here.
Caesar dresses better than I do.
Yeah, same. That's true.
I don't know if I want to admit to that, but I've got terrific fashion sense, obviously.
Yeah, you got drip.
What about James Franco here in this movie? I mean, we actually did talk about him a bit, but he's a solid protagonist. Has James Franco been cancelled? I don't know, but isn't he like a sex pest or something? I don't know. Is that true? Did I make that up? It's too hard to keep track these days.
No, and I think it's like still ongoing. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think it kind of is, but I think there's nothing solid yet. But I think it's kind of pointing more towards yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I was just curious. I know. I thought I heard about that, but I didn't know. he's a good actor, and he works for me as sort of this. I don't know. Will's an interesting character. At the end of the day, he is sort of the filling the void in a good way, but of the the Hollywood, I don't know, male protagonist, blockbuster protagonist sort of role here. And I don't know if it necessarily played into his humor and personality that I sort of like about him. You know what I mean? So I like him in the movie, but I also feel like you could have put in 5 other people and it would have been just as cool. You know what I mean? I don't know if the role necessarily played to his strengths, but that's not really a negative. That's an observation, but I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say about this? We did actually talk about it a bit earlier.
I think it's kind of factors into it as soon as he gets his like morals, I guess. He kind of like builds himself like I don't know, it feels like you get something from him in terms of his how he wants to lead, I guess.
Sure. I think the core relationships and dynamics in the movie are great. Everything with Caesar's cool. Obviously, everything with Caesar and Will is cool. I really like everything as well with Will and his dad, which really works and plays into obviously establishing the motivations and the origins of how this revolution begins in the first place, of course. But like you mentioned earlier, Jane, like it all feels totally organic and genuine. Like at the end of the day, like what Will did was totally wrong and is and is in some capacity doomed humanity if you look at it that way. But it's totally feels justified. You never look at him as the villain here or a moron for doing what he did or something. It makes perfect sense. And I really like. I always forget his name. The dude who plays Will's dad. I know him from 80 things.
John Lithgow.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he's
I made
great.
sure to like look at his name in the credits. I was like, because I always forget his name too.
Yeah, I totally do too. But he's really cool as well. So like those core dynamics that those are the things that the movie really needs to nail for it to work, I think, and it does, which is great. When you start looking outside of that, outside of the main pantheon of storytelling going on here, it's where it's like, okay, this is where we get into like I don't know, whatever Hollywood character stuff. I don't know, like the girlfriend character, like I don't know, like why is she in the movie? You know what I mean? And then you got the I don't know, like the British boss guy. He's like, he's all right, I guess. You know what I mean? So that's when you sort of and like that weird annoying neighbor, which by the that he was obnoxious how he kept turning up and just being a pain in the ass. But the payoff of him actually carrying the virus was hilarious because it's like, yeah, I feel like this guy deserves that, to be honest. Not, I don't know if he deserves the deal of humanity, but if it's going to be anyone, I thought that was pretty funny, actually. So that actually worked for me in the end. But I don't know, there are sort of, I don't know, more cardboard cutout characters, I think, in the movie. Doesn't weigh it down too much, I don't think. I don't know. Unless, did you guys get anything out of... Are there any other characters I didn't mention there that are...
The sanctuary workers.
Oh, absolutely.
Draco and
absolutely.
The Bourne guy.
Yeah. No, Bourne guy's great because he's great. I don't know. Yeah, his character was whatever, but I love how... I love how it's so obvious. This movie came out in 2011, the same year as the final Harry Potter movie. I love how it's so obvious that it's just like, we need a young dickhead in this movie. Who are we going to cast? Duh. Like, that's literally 100% the conversation they had. And it's great. They just cast Draco Malfoy because why not? And he's great. What a bitch, What a bitch.
It's funny you can say that exactly
that
for his character in Harry Potter too.
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, I never really appreciate. I don't know. I never really bought the whole like Draco's fine at the end of Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
What do you mean he's fine? Like
it's like just forget what he did. It's okay. Yeah, I feel like not that they forget, but I feel like at the end of Harry Potter, it's sort of like sort of the semi. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd. I wish it was more of a redemption. I'll say that. I feel like it's like a half-assed redemption that I don't buy.
Don't worry, it creates drama in the Cursed Child.
That's true. It does actually. That's true. But I feel like you can still like have a more solid redemption and still have that in the fan fiction story. We're not reviewing the Harry Potter franchise yet. We'll do that when we get to episode 170. Oh yeah. So yeah, we talked. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. We talked about those guys. Anything else? Any other? We covered them all, right? Am I blanking? Unless you guys got like really attached to the
Oh.
CEO character.
There was this in the Sanctuary. There was this other character, like the awkward character, or like the I don't know, like the pussy kind of character, you know.
That's
Like
exactly right.
That's his only trait, and it's like
Totally.
him and Draco are like, you know, they're always like fighting, and he's like always like, you know, like meek and like, oh, don't do that, you know.
Yeah, that was kind of
That
weird.
was kind of annoying, but
Well, it
I agree
works
with
because then Caesar does, because then he doesn't shoot Caesar later when he's
that's true. It makes it's good how Caesar always like, I think in this one and others, maybe probably, he's always, he judges people after like not the first, you know, he observes people for a few, they have like a few attempts, you know, and it's like if they're still doing wrong, then he like kills them or justifies like killing them, kind of. Like in this, it's like Draco. What's his character's name? I don't know.
He didn't want to kill Draco though. He did it by accident because I think he just wanted to spray him with the water cannon, not realizing what it'd do with the taser.
Right, that's true. But like with the British guy, with the CEO, he like, you know, he chooses in that moment. So it's kind of like he's like, you know, the judge character guy. But
I did like the opening scene actually, where we see Caesar's mum gunned down.
is that what happened? I didn't. Oh.
Not the opening, but like the
Oh, not the opening. Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's like in the first 15 minutes. I thought that was quite an effective scene.
Captured? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
No, at the
after
lab.
that, when she was gunned down at the lab, yeah.
When
yeah,
he doesn't do the presentation,
right. I see.
Yeah. No, but that's the captured. I actually forgot about that scene. That sort of has the same effect, but does a great job of just doing the obvious, right? Of we need to demonstrate how the ape's perspective here of being oppressed here. You know, it's an idea that shouldn't be that hard to convey. You know, obviously, if your animal's stuck in a lab, intelligent animals stuck in a lab, like it's pretty shit, I think, for most people to see anyway. But they do a great job of like sort of really nailing that idea down, I think. And I don't know, seeing a shot like that, and then then dealing with Caesar afterwards as a kid, which was fun. I liked all the scenes with Caesar and at James Franco's house and stuff. So I think overall, my point is, I guess in the emotions that the film is trying to elicit, I think it chooses its scenes wisely and does an effective job of that. I don't know. I think we did a comprehensive job. Oh no, that's great. Let's do that. One of the first movies to use motion capture in an on-location setting. This film is. Previously, motion capture was limited to special studio setup with special motion capture cameras in very clearly defined surroundings. So that's pretty cool. Now that I think about it, because I was like, wait, really? Like, you telling me Gollum wasn't shot like this? I hadn't really put any thought into it, but I guess not, because if you actually think about where Gollum is in Lord of the Rings, like he's always in these confined spaces that are clearly sound stages. He's clearly never like in the plains of New Zealand with like Aragon and shit, you know. So that actually makes a lot of sense. I never thought of it.
Just on top of like that mocap thing, like when Andy Serkis was on the Graham Norton show, I think it was for. I'm pretty sure it was for like War for Planet of the Apes. I think it was like doing a promotion for that, and like he just did a short bit about like how like they do the movement for like the apes, and like they had like these little crutches, and like they're kind of like they have to like squat down and then like use the crutches on their front hands, and like it's just crazy because like how it's amazing how he's done. I mean, like he spent God knows how many hours studying it and perfecting it, but like. It was just like a short 3-minute bit, and like the way like he demonstrates it, and like it's really crazy.
Totally,
because like he mocaps more than just Caesar. He also does the ape as well. not the ape,
The
the
orangutan?
gorilla, yeah, the
Oh,
gorilla.
okay. Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm not sure if he
Yeah.
does it in this movie, but he does it in other ones. And like it's like the way he shows like the difference in like, you know, the chimpanzee walks like this, the gorilla's more like this, and then like the way they run and shit, like the way he was doing that, it's such a talent, you know.
It's crazy every time I see really anyone mocap, to be honest, but like especially when you're playing like a creature or an animal or something, because you sort of don't think about it really, like because you just see the final product and you understand that it's Andy Serkis doing it. But like, imagine what it's like being actually watching him on set because he's literally like doing all these crazy movements, like kneeling down. It's crazy. He's great. And the thing about Andy Serkis too is that shout out to Andy Serkis. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be like the moral of this review series, I think, but. He's such a good actor. Obviously, he's pioneered mocap and stuff, dude. Him in the MCU as that villain in Black Panther. He was in like Age of Ultron, I don't know, but like when he was in Black Panther, he just genuinely has a great screen presence as a live action actor too. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, Andy Serkis is just a good mocap actor. He's a genuinely incredible actor. You know what I mean? I feel like he could, and he's going to be Alfred in the Batman. I feel like he can do anything. That guy.
Wait, is he Alfred?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And he's, of course, the most exciting thing for you is he's directing Venom 2.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
He's a man of many, many talents, Andy Serkis. Good for him. So I guess we haven't really talked about the action in quotes super in depth. Feels weird call it action in the traditional sense, but I guess it is. We got the main one, of course, is the final climactic sort of Golden Gate Bridge set piece, and I really liked that stuff. I thought it sort of
Yeah,
played
that's how.
to.
Sorry.
You're right.
I
What?
was gonna say how in at the start of season 7 of the Clone Wars, they rip off the strat because you know they have like the clones with jetpacks underneath the bridge.
You're totally right. That's exactly what they did.
Mm.
That's literally that. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Um, but I like this. I feel like it played to, from a choreography perspective and just an entertainment perspective, it really played to the strengths of, I don't know, how apes would behave in this sort of situation. Like you said, they're climbing under the bridge. They when they scale the bridge to the top, and it's like they're in the clouds and shit. Creates some really cool visuals.
Oh yeah, there's that Oh sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. You go.
There's that scene with where the ape gets captured in the you know the little truck or whatever, or the captivity van, and then Caesar comes up with his like his big black like pike or whatever,
Spear.
and they all just cut spear whatever
fence,
and then
it's a fence, but they turn into a spear.
All right, spear, and then they all just come out, and that's a great visual.
And when he wait, this isn't the same one, is it? When he's no, I don't think when he comes out riding the horse out of the fog.
Oh yeah,
that was terrific. That was terrific. So it's this sort of climactic what this movie would need, obviously, when you're like structuring and creating a big budget film like this. You need a sort of a final action set piece, and for that, I think it's really cool. You know what I mean? It's still very much contained in the drama of these apes are just trying to escape, because essentially, like, it is the Golden Gate Bridge. They're trying to get across it to escape into the redwoods, right? That's what it is, and it's very contained in that simple objective and drama. It never turns into, like, I don't know, like the apes grab guns and it just turns, you know what I mean? It just turns into some like bullshit gunfight with apes or something. It's very much just like the apes are trying to get across the bridge. They're scaling the bridge. And they're not really doing any crazy action things themselves, but it's still exciting. And was it the gorilla that dived through the chopper? That was the one moment that was sort of like very actiony, but I thought it was pretty good actually. We'll touch on the score briefly. Any comments, Jaden? I thought it was fine.
Not for this one, no.
Okay.
For the in the later entries, specifically the third one, I think it's definitely got moments of note. But in this one and Dawn, I don't really feel too much on it. Like, I think the series improves in every aspect as it goes on. Just to spoil, like, the show in 3 months' time as to what I'm going to say. and like so like everything that I love in these ones, I think only amplifies and grows, and I think parts that are missing, they continue to develop. So that's I'll say that.
Cool. That gets me excited because we're starting off on really solid ground here. Then But yeah, would you agree with that, Fitzy? Do you have any? Do you remember the score at all from the other movies? That's probably a hard stretch, but like if it improves, if
Yeah.
you agree.
I'd say the other ones have more of a like a tone that they go for. Like they pull off tone better, and like I definitely felt there were moments here where the score was, like generic, and things are happening, actiony, kind of fast drums, and all that. But I think like Dawn and War have like a kind of more brooding, like cold atmosphere to go for. So I think the scores are better in those. But yeah,
Cool. Well, so the thing I really liked about, I guess, the premise of this movie is the fact that it's in the original Planet of the Apes, right? Spoilers for Planet of the Apes, 1968.
1968. I'm surprised you got the year.
Only because I looked it up this week.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't have otherwise. But the thing, right, at the end of that movie is the thing that, like, it's positioned that the Planet of the Apes is an alien planet with apes on it, but the reveal is that it's Earth in the future, right? That's the thing. Okay. So my point is that I thought it was an interesting premise. If you're going to reboot this franchise, if you're going to reboot this trilogy into a trilogy, I think it's a cool idea to sort of work in reverse, which is what the premise of this movie is. Like if Planet of the Apes has always been established as this thing of like it's always been Earth in the far future, I think it's cool to show the origins of it, which is that is the first time they've done that, right? Which is interesting to me. So I appreciated that, and then of course the ending of this movie very much shows us that this trilogy is going to develop into the Planet of the Apes setting that everyone sort of knows, So that's an interesting take. I appreciate them instead of doing like, I don't know, this reboot where it's just like the same ground all over again. They sort of wanted to do something different with it, show the origins of it, which was neat. And I was not expecting. Is this established in Planet of the Apes, the lore, Jaden? Like what the origins of the Planet of the Apes is? Like, did anyone know prior to this movie that it's like a virus or that it like does Caesar exist in Planet of the Apes?
It's all same but different. So Caesar's a character in the original 5, but it's a different kind of case. He's still like the leader of the revolution, but it's in a different capacity, and like the way that they develop is also different because it's extraordinarily different. Actually, it's because it factors into characters from the original tour of the Planet of the Apes, and they kind of do some stuff. So like there's it's more like this movie is just making references rather than directly drawing from.
Right. Okay. So it's like, okay, I get it. So it's very much a reboot in the sense it's not at all the continuity of. It's just the taking elements of the world established and telling the origins of it. That's cool. All right, very good. What are our final verdicts for Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Are you proud of me for not bringing up again the titles should be switched, and we can debate about that again for 10 minutes if you like.
You just brought it up.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
No.
Yeah. Jaden, what's your score?
I think I'm gonna leave. I'll leave it at an 8. It's how I've always felt about this one. I think as we said throughout, and I agree with more of the stuff that you guys said. And it's just a movie that I really, really like, and I think it has a special place in my mind because I think this is kind of like one of the first like mature sci-fi films that I kind of watched. So yeah.
Cool, Fitzy. Or are you doing the thumbs?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed the rewatch. I think I liked it more than I thought I would, and it's a great, as you said, it seems like prologue, but it's a great prologue, you know?
Are we not doing a score criteria, or are you just going with that?
Oh, yeah.
Do whatever you like.
Thumbs, what's this called? Diagonal, up. I don't know.
It's like a 70-degree angle.
Yeah, so 70 degrees.
So if it's his
Oh no, sorry, not 70. That's like 130.
45
sorry.
degrees. Isn't 45?
45 from the horizontal.
If you go like that,
Oh wait, sorry, 45 from the horizontal and from the vertical is the same thing, isn't it?
who cares? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that could be your new review score, the degrees of a thumbs up, but that's already too confusing for us, I think. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. I think it's a strong 7. I really liked it. I feel like a lot of this conversation actually probably should have skewed it to an 8, and it is really well paced, really short. It totally flew by, but yeah, at the end of the day, I do stand by. It feels like a prologue, and it does sort of have sort of whatever characters surround. There's the really good stuff at its core, but surrounding it, it's sort of like not everything's super compelling, I guess. So, but really good movie. I'm really excited to keep watching these for sure. Let's get into news chat. We've got quite a beefy one today, which is fun. So, the brand new Transformers movie, live action Transformers movie, has been announced. It is coming literally almost exactly a year from today. It's coming on the 24th of June, 2022, which is shocking, right? Like, that's pretty freaking soon. I guess they're going to start shooting soon.
I didn't even. So they haven't even started development. Oh, I mean, they would have done all the pre-production, I guess.
Yeah, but it's weird that
production.
Yeah, but I guess normally we'd just get an announcement earlier than this. That's sort of why it's surprising. But yeah, so anyway, it's called Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, which is like, I don't know, in Transformers lore, does that imply Beast Wars? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think this is what it's more leaning towards. And I think the director or the writer or someone said like it's a completely new thing, and I think it's meant to be a step away from the Bay films.
Neat. The logo definitely is. Did you see the logo?
Yeah.
It looks
cool. I don't know if I like it though. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm a fucking sucker for the Bay ones. So
well, give me back my Michael Bay Transformers.
Yeah, I'm scared.
It looks like it's channeling the OG Transformers logo, which I like. But I do like it, but I'm not a nostalgic for Transformers really. But it's directed by Stephen Capel Jr., who directed Creed 2. For anyone out there, so I'm curious. I will say, if this movie comes out and it's like they've redone the designs of the Transformers a little bit to sort of be more in the style of Bumblebee a little bit. If the movie forget that. This is the real test. If the movie comes out and it's around 2 hours, if it's no longer than 2 hours and 8 minutes, then I'm like, dude, forget, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I'm saying it. Like, that's like the only litmus test I have.
Long.
So long.
I loved it though. I loved every hero shot, every lens flare.
I love that you love them, Jaden. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, I don't know. That's happening, and we'll see. I don't know. Does that do anything for you, Fitzy? Are you going to dive in to see Rise of the Beasts?
Is this a continuation of the Transformers, or is it new?
I think it is a it's like, I mean, yes, but no. Like they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna care too much about what's happened before. But I think it's still modern day and stuff. I think.
Yeah, I think it's being touted as like the 7th one in the series, but it's not going to really be like
same. Like Bumblebee's in the Michael Bay continuity, but like it doesn't give a shit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's that sort of thing. Steven Spielberg has signed with Netflix. He's going to make movies with Netflix. And the hilarious thing about that is, of course, the comments he's already previously made regarding Netflix. Netflix movies shouldn't be nominated for Oscars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, unless he's happy to cop the no Oscars here, yeah, this is pretty funny. But hey, I don't blame the guy. You know what I mean? If Netflix comes to me and is like, dude, let's give you all all right, guesses. This has got to be hundreds of millions of dollars worth, right?
Yeah.
If they had written me that, I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Or I'll become the biggest hypocrite on the planet Earth if you're offering me hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't care. It's fine. It's
I don't
fine.
think the deal specifies how many movies he has to make there. Or maybe like in a report I read, at least it didn't say anything. But so I'm not sure how long he's tagged there. But
You'd suspect multiple films.
I'd say at least 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'd be surprised if it's like 4 or 5 of them. I think 2 or 3 would be like the expected amount.
I agree. And if you look to Adam Sandler many years ago now, actually signed that Netflix deal, that was for 3. So I'm not saying this is necessarily for 3. It might be, but I think we're in that ballpark. Yeah, I don't think it's like make 8 films. I don't know if he's got 8 films left in him. We got a bunch of trailers around here. Jaden, I want you to tell me about the Shang-Chi. I think it's Shang-Chi, I believe. Trailer that released just today, I believe.
I don't really like it. What was the one that Chloe Zhao's doing? What's that one called again?
Eternals.
Yeah. I think that trailer was a lot more was a lot better. I mean, this one just looked like standard, an MCU jargon of fights and rivalries and stuff like that, powers and shit. It looked like more of the same. I'm happy to be wrong once again, but yeah, didn't look anything too special.
I watched the first trailer. Are they emphasizing sort of the kung fu angle here? Because that's sort of what it is, right? They're sort of trying to come at this from it's a martial arts film.
No, there was little of that in this one. Liam's got something to say.
No, that was an accident. Sorry.
Okay. Unless I missed all of that in the trailer, there was not much kung fu or martial arts or whatever in this one. There was a lot more powers and using shit and monsters like Abomination or whatever.
Right. So I was going to ask, is there any reveals in this trailer that should be surprising? Abominations in the trailer? Is that?
Yeah, you see him for a few seconds.
And then we had the Halloween Kills trailer. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was awesome. I love the 2018 Halloween. I think it's the better one between the original and this one. I know it's kind of controversial, but fuck it. No, this trailer looked great. It looked like more of what we got in the 2018, which was banging score, banging visuals, and actually like threatening killer and actually intense film. It picks up right off. Picks up right from where the last one ended, and it looks like a genuinely fun time and like a good time. I'm completely down for it.
Cool. I like the title a lot. But does John Carpenter do the score?
He did the score for the 2018 one, and
okay.
I'm pretty sure he'd do this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. I just love that John Carpenter's a gamer.
Yeah. I was about to say.
I feel like I should start a gaming podcast on my channel with John Carpenter. I feel like he'd jump on.
He definitely support the small creator.
All right, now it's time for our highlights of the week. Fitzy, what have you been watching?
I watched Being John Malkovich. It's this Charlie Kaufman written movie, and I kind of associate this film with Charlie Kaufman. So at the end, when it's directed by Spike Jonze, I forgot that he was actually a part of it as well. And Spike Jonze directed adaptation as well, which Kaufman also wrote. So there's like this series of Jones and Kaufman collaborations, and they're really great. Being John Malkovich is it's a movie about a guy. He's a struggling puppeteer, so he gets a job as a file clerk in this building, which has half the normal size of a building. So he needs to constantly, bend over.
Okay.
Because the ceiling is accustomed for not normal sized people. So in this place, he finds a portal into the mind of John Malkovich, and people go inside the portal and live inside John Malkovich's head 15 minutes and then get spit out at a highway, a New Jersey Turnpike. And his co-worker and him tries to like make money out of it, get people like charge people $200 to go inside the head of John Malkovich, and then his wife goes inside his head and she really likes it, so she like gets addicted to that, and she's like, it's just, yeah, if you can't tell, it's like a really crazy film which can't really be defined very well. It's not like, doesn't really fit into any genre or anything, and it's just about like living inside other people, and because the whole metaphor is like he's a puppeteer, so he likes to like live vicariously through his puppets, and he's like he becomes like a puppet for John Malkovich. And there's also this other angle, his coworker is like this really controlling woman who like controls everyone, and she's like the puppeteer for everyone else. So it's like, yeah, it's we covered I'm Thinking of Anything's on the show. It's like very concept driven, and kind of people don't act normal, people act in strange ways and say things, but it's also about it's very like it's exploring people. So yeah, I recommend checking it out, although I don't know where you can get it. Maybe PlayStation.
The thing I've always been really interested about seeing that movie exists, was John Malkovich like a famous actor prior?
Well, yeah, he was. Well, so you know about this film, or like, okay, he's he was semi-famous, yeah. But the funny thing is, it's funny that like Kaufman films even get made because they're so out there, and like how do you even? So, but Kaufman wrote the script just for John Malkovich, which is like so hilarious, because if you don't get John Malkovich, it's like, it's not, it doesn't work. So he didn't want to do it, but he was eventually convinced. Spike Jonze, he directed music videos, and then I think he was married to Francis Ford Coppola's niece or something. So he kind of got his start through nepotism, through that, and he got everyone on board. But yeah, it's like, it's really weird as well, because you can't think that the movie, like, I don't think the movie would work with like a lot of other people. Like, people were suggesting like Tom Cruise, like studios were like, why are we in John Malkovich? Let's do being Tom Cruise,
That sounds about
and
right.
it's like, it wouldn't work with that. It's just, it's so, I don't know, it's so specific. Like, he's like this performer character, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah,
Being
so
Tom
I think
Hanks.
yeah, exactly. But it's like, there's something about John Malkovich, So
Right.
But is there actually something about John Malkovich, or is it just because of this movie that it makes you think that there's something about John Malkovich and that he was irreplaceable?
Well, I can't visualize anyone else in this kind of thing. I don't know. Because if it was like some generic big stars are talking about it, wouldn't, I don't know, be as interesting. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, watch the movie. It's good.
Does David Fincher have any children?
David Fincher. David Fincher
Does he?
is in a cameo in Being John Malkovich.
Is he?
Yeah, and so is Brad Pitt and Sean Penn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Charlie Sheen's in it as well. Oh, and
lovely.
Cameron Diaz is the wife character,
Oh my God,
who's into. Right. She's totally unrecognizable as well. Well, not. Yeah, I feel like saying that is like, the Lego thing. The Lego picture for the new Scorsese film. People said it was like unrecognizable, and then there's like backlash to that. Anyway,
he's clearly just sitting there.
Well, he does look a bit different. So that's what
Does
people were saying, but I don't know. I think he does. But she's like, she keeps all these animals around the house, like monkeys and all these pets, and she's got like this frizzly hair. She looks like, yeah, she looks very different in the film.
Neat. Sorry, I was asking about. I'm trying to think of like famous directors with children. So I'm trying to think about who I can marry to get in
Oh right,
to the business. That's what I was.
Finch is
right,
pretty
right.
cool.
You know, easy. Yeah, I'll take anyone. Honestly,
No,
whatever.
you gotta Coppola. Both of Coppola's daughters have been directing films, and also Spike Jonze got married to his niece. So you got to get in the Coppola family. I
Right.
think even before
Sure.
Coppola, there was people in the family who were in the industry. So yeah.
That's my way to George Lucas right there. That's how I can. That's how I do it. Oh god. What about you, Jaden?
I had another slow week in terms of movies, but I did finish Demon Slayer this week, which is it's great. It was really really great, but I don't think it deserves. I mean, no, I don't know what it deserves, but like I don't.
Are you of the mind it's a bit overrated?
Yes, yeah, slightly, only slightly though, because I can understand the tense, but I don't understand the amount of tense. You know.
Okay.
You
I like that. Yeah.
I think it's great. It's one of the most immersion filled animes I've seen, and I think it's so when I talked about it a few weeks ago, there's not much different to say really. Some of the arcs drag a bit. Like they spend like 5 episodes on this one arc, and like it's an important arc, and there's never any dead space. It's all relevant, but you could certainly have trimmed it down by an episode at least, because every time I clicked next episode, I was like, oh, are we finally done with this place? No, we're still here. And like that kind of became a repeating thing. And like some of the jokes in the series get really repetitive, and like this one character yells a lot, this one character's really tough, and this one character's really like pig-headed and whatever. I mean, like these aren't major things, but like it's just things that draw it back from that 10. That was I'm really keen to watch the movie, and like I absolutely loved the series like a lot, and I'm keen for season 2.
So it continues.
Yeah, there's a movie, and then there's also a season 2 to be made.
Cool. I speaking of fake anime, I finished Avatar: The Last Airbender, Jaden, and what a great show! What a great show! I want to personally thank you. I want to personally thank Charlie, these people in my life that pushed me to watch this television program, even against all odds of me going, dude, this shit's boring. This season 1 sucks. Like, and I did it, and it's great. It's a great show. Highly recommend. I'm saying nothing new. Everyone on the planet Earth except me, I think, knows to watch the show, but it's great. And I just love how the whole thing is so complete and comes so full circle to where, especially in season 3, it's like all the shit I didn't like in season 1, with the exception of maybe 2 episodes, like it all serves a purpose and actually like has something that comes back around. I'm like, oh shit, it's that character from that episode I didn't like. Oh shit, it's like, oh, this is like this is justifying like the entire journey, which I really appreciated about it. I wouldn't, for me, I love the experience. I don't know if I'd call it like one of my favorite shows of all time. Just because like, at the end of the day, I know this like I don't want to trigger anyone, but at the end of the day, for me, it's a Nickelodeon cartoon, right? It's the best Nickelodeon cartoon anyone could possibly ever conceive, but it's still a Nickelodeon cartoon. So it's like, and that, of course, from 2005. So it's like, the animation never really wowed me that much. It has its moments for sure. The moment you told me to watch out for, Jane, was great. It has its moments for sure. Overall, I wasn't that impressed with it though, from a visual perspective. And the ending is great in a lot of ways. It's maybe I'm spoiled by Dave Filoni's other things, but the ending's a bit too neat for me. A little bit. It still got me emotional at one moment, so it's not like it didn't work for me at all. It's a great ending, but I feel like it could have been a bit more. It was a bit underwhelming, the slightest amount. But it's a great show. It's really digestible. It's got great characters. totally cannot wait to dive into The Legend of Korra in the coming weeks. I'm really excited to do that because I
I'm
just
really keen
love...
for you to watch that too.
Because you reckon I'd like it more. You'd said that at one point, I believe. Is that
I
right?
could see, I could see you liking it more.
Okay. That's... I like...
Well,
I just love...
in terms of tone, you know, it's more mature.
Yeah, right. And that's sort of the other thing about it, Avatar being a Nickelodeon cartoon. Like, I think the humor works a lot of the time, but sometimes it's just playing a bit too low to a demographic for me to be like all on board. You know, just sometimes. These are minor criticisms in my book, but I just love the idea of like I love sequel series, like sequel shows in general, and the idea of like I know it's set like in the future, and like I assume I'm gonna like see characters or be alluded to characters that I know and as old people or as legends or whatever, and that shit just I love that kind of shit in storytelling. So I'm all here for that.
Yeah, did you cry in the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode? You know, I think it was season 2.
Yes, and dude,
Yeah,
dude,
good.
I'm so glad you brought this up. This is it's honestly that episode is my defining episode of the whole show because it perfectly exemplifies like literally my entire experience with the whole thing. It's insane. You know, I didn't really like season 1 at first, grew to really enjoy the show, right? I turned that episode on, and this is because it's in the middle of season 2 when I was really liking the show at that point. I turned the episode on. It says The Tales of Ba Sing Se, and it starts, and it's clearly like a short story episode, like a throwaway. In my head, this is what I'm thinking, like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. I was excited to progress the story, and I'm about to get some bullshit short stories that I don't give a shit about. Like, that's literally what I was thinking. Literally 3 minutes later, I'm crying. How did it do that? It's the most remarkable transition I've ever experienced. And I was so pleased. I love when I finish shows and I love when I like Google shit and Google trivia afterwards because I don't dare do it while I'm watching it. And I loved how I thought that might have just been a me thing. And I love how I Google it and it's like a universally beloved scene. I love that. I'm like, oh, thank God. No, it was incredible. Now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you to tell us about a show or movie you've been watching and your thoughts on it, which we've just done, so it's your time to participate in Highlights of the Week. Luke said, I've been watching Criminal Minds from Season 1. I've often watched episodes here and there on TV, but I've decided to watch it from the start. It's a great show to watch over having lunch or taking a break. The characters are great. I've also been watching Loki, and I am low-key enjoying it. Get it? Like, he always does this, does it? Like, low-key. I have the direction. Sorry, I love the direction they are taking the character, and so far the story is interesting. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. We're also enjoying Loki here. Have you started it, Fitzy, or is it Jada and I right now?
No. Oh, no.
Cool.
No.
Would you say you're low-key enjoying Loki, Jad, or are you just enjoying it? Or are you high-key enjoying it?
I think low key enjoying it. You know, I think because there was a lot of stuff I didn't. I don't know where it's come from all of a sudden, but like I saw a thing about like Tom Hiddleston, like it was part of it. It was part of it like a skit on the show, and they're talking about like Tom Hiddleston's a bad actor and like he has nothing to a project, and I don't know why, but that must have implanted itself in my brain because now when I'm watching it, I'm like, he's not doing too much, is he? And I'm like, I think it's kind of holding me back on him a bit, and like especially in like some of his like in some of his like delivery of like lines and stuff like that. When I messaged you about it, I really love the show aesthetically, and the score is great, and I think the mystery it's establishing is really cool, but there's definitely some things there to be a bit cautioned about.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I sure we'll get more into it as it finishes, I imagine. Alice C wrote in and said, watched Bo Burnham's new special Inside recently on Netflix. It's one of those films that hits you like a truck and you can't stop thinking about it. It somehow manages to be incredibly funny and very Black Mirror-esque at the same time. Would highly recommend. And now, that's crazy. As I replied, Fitzy's talking about this movie here. Movie? Stand-up special. I don't know what. Yeah. Fitzy's talking about it. She's written in about it. Dude, I need to... The stars are aligning here. I feel like I need to check this out.
I honestly don't know if you'd like it, to be honest.
No?
But, I don't know. I don't know if you'd like the humour, but...
Oh, okay. That's sort of
Yeah,
sad.
I don't know. I think it's like... It's a kind of... It's like a great musical thing as well. Like it's a great album kind of thing. Like the songs... Music is one of the best parts of it.
But would you say... I'd need to be familiar with Bo a little bit, right? Would you imagine?
I think you just need to understand like what his persona is.
Right.
You know, he's this exuberant theater kid with these funny... So I think if you understand his like personality, you'll understand the stand-up special a bit more, because I think some people see him as just this annoying guy who just wants like attention, and he is that a bit, but he's like he wants attention and he wants to be creative, but it's not in an annoying way, kind of. I don't know how to put it, but I think if you watch some of his stuff, kind of understand who he is, it'll add a bit to it, I think. Because the whole thing is about how he's a comedian who is stuck inside and wants to be creative and wants to, you know, he wants to make people laugh, he wants to express himself, and he can't do that, so he's making this whole special with these, you know, great songs that express these feelings. And if you kind of understand where he's coming from a bit, like who he is, then it'll improve it a bit.
Sure. I think I should definitely do that. So thank you, Alice, for writing in. Andy said, a movie I've watched most recently as of Thursday afternoon is Vicky Cristina Barcelona. My thoughts are, why isn't this film on any of your watch lists? Wow, he's like calling out our watch list. That's new.
Because
He's
it's
like
Woody Allen, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
Pretty sure it's Woody Allen, right?
Yeah.
Is Andy a big Woody Allen person?
I don't know, but I just don't want to support the the pedophilic sex pest more than I have to.
Well, you're gonna love.
Are we doing it next week?
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, hang on. We jumped the gun a bit. He says, also, I'm curious to get your thoughts on Woody Allen. I think he's a pretty shit person, from what I understand at this point. So that's that. That sucks. But as a director, I don't know, he's fine. I've seen I'm not well versed in him though. I've seen this film called Cafe Society. That's got Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart there, and and Steve Carell's in it too. And it was okay. I didn't mind it. So I don't know. I haven't really got any thoughts. Do you guys have any more thoughts on Mr. Allen?
I've seen a few of his more major things. I think they're good. I think they're witty, but I don't like need to. I don't know. I don't love him, I guess, as a director. He's a good director.
Yeah, you know, I just want to watch Annie Hall in Manhattan and then just be done with him. Just leave it alone.
I think Annie Hall is a great movie. So, but Purple Rose of Cairo is another one that's like, that's probably my favorite, to be honest. But like he has a shit ton of films. He has like 40, 50 films. It's like, but you only really need to watch 5 of them, you know, if you're not really into them that much.
Well, I want to watch...
not 5 of them, like a couple of them, yeah.
I want to watch What's Up with Tiger Lily as well, which is his first one. And it's just an English dub of a Japanese movie. But like, it's like, I think he bought the rest of the movie, and then he just like, he created some ridiculous script to work with it. And like, it's just meant to be like, you know, kind of like really absurd. So like, there's quite a bit of this stuff I want to watch, but like, I don't want to attach myself to him, you know.
Yeah. Hasn't he been directing movies since like 1924? I feel like I look at his filmography.
1967, I think, is his first.
Wow, that's okay. I wasn't far off.
Yeah, 40 odd years.
Yeah. Shout out to also for Andy. He tried to leave a comment. This is the ongoing saga of YouTube shutting down our comments. I don't like it. It's a bit censorship YouTube. I feel like, I mean, we're on their site, so everything I'm about to say is bullshit. But I feel like I should have the right to leave comments on I like. But Andy did indeed comment regarding Gone Girl on Ben Affleck's huge schlong, were his words.
Oh, dude, everyone talks about that, but when did that happen?
I didn't see it either. I didn't see it.
You only see you see it from the base. You don't see the full thing.
Okay,
but
hold on, I gotta look this up.
It just feels like it feels like such a weird inclusion because like there's no reason for the camera. Like Fincher told Affleck, I want it to be gritty. I want it to be European. I want everything to be there. But like the camera's only just cuts in. The camera only just frames it. And it feels weird. It's like, why couldn't have it like that tiny bit higher or that tiny bit lower to it felt odd.
So okay. So when I was looking at the trivia for Gone Girl last week, there actually was a trivia that's like exactly what you just said. Fincher was going for this style with the full frontal nudity, and I scrolled past it because I had no idea what it was talking about. I didn't even see it. I was like, that's a full frontal nudity. So are you saying it's like he's gone and half-assed it? It's like either show his dick or don't. Is he sort of done like
literally half-assed it?
Yeah.
So you can only see like sort of the top and upper lip, like sort of you can't even see the tip there.
No, yeah, you can see like that, like that part. If you imagine like that,
right?
Like that part, like there.
Okay, yeah, sure. No, much. I got it. Yeah. No, the base was a good description. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you want to see
how long is it for?
It's like half a second. If you want to see it on Prime, it's at 2:12:39. There you go.
Everyone, go to Amazon Prime and look at Ben Affleck. Go half of Ben Affleck's dick right now. That's amazing. Shout out to Andy for commenting that as well. I laughed a lot and was really disappointed.
Oh, you see it. You see it, but it's on the side. Yeah.
Do you see the full thing?
It's like
you see it all, but it's like side profile. Yeah.
Okay.
The side profile. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree with Andy since you have it right there? I've not seen it. Would you say it's a huge song? Would you say that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like that.
Nice and big.
That's like that other thing. Like, was it which one of the Skarsgårds is in Big Little Lies?
Alexander.
Yeah, well, because like he goes full frontal in that, right? And I'm pretty sure like
I don't remember.
I'm almost positive he does because I remember like when the episode that it happened dropped, like everyone was like, that's got to be a prosthetic, that's got to be like a that's got to be something fake because and it's like nah or real or whatever.
Good on you, Alexander. Yeah, he was totally flexing there, wasn't he? Let's be real. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section, or send us a DM on Instagram. And the question we'll be asking you this week is, what is your favourite music video and why? Jan suggested this one. It's a great one. So let us know. That's it for this week's episode, though, of Cinema Effect. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and partaking in our conversation of Ben Affleck's schlong. What are we reviewing next week, Fitzy?
Next week, Cinema Effect is doing Midnight in Paris. Whoa. Yeah, Midnight in Paris, which is on Netflix. And Zach?
No, don't spoil. Don't spoil.
Shouldn't I?
Nah. Just let it be surprise.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun if you don't spoil.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay. I won't.
We'll see what Zach's doing. We'll see.
Well, I didn't want to say. Okay, never mind.
Well, leave it to the imagination a little bit.
We'll see whether or not there's a surprise or not. Maybe.
Thank you guys for joining me as always. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Take care and goodbye.